how many days since she launched
March,
American Riviera
March
Orchard?
was when she launched it. So what
Yeah,
is that?
and we
April,
have
May,
nothing
June. That's like
tangible.
5 months ago. Sell something!
I want to talk to you quickly about President Trump, because the one thing that I feel like could be keeping Harry and Meghan silent throughout this campaign season is that President Trump did threaten to deport him. So maybe they don't want to push his buttons. Like, could they potentially stay quiet throughout this process? Because Donald Trump has said, if I find out that you were given any special privileges, I'm going to reverse course.
I'll tell you what I like, what British people like about Donald Trump. You know, you'll hear a lot from the usual woke brigade. Oh, we hate Donald Trump. He's so awful. He's a racist. He's a sexist. But there's a difference between the chattering classes on both sides of the Atlantic and the real people. And the real people of Britain appreciate Donald Trump because he's always stuck up for our Queen. He loves our country. He loves Britain because his mother was Scottish, and he loves the royal family. And what he says about Harry and Meghan is, he said, his actual quote was, I think they hurt Her Majesty bad. I think they broke her heart. And I think he's bang on there. And what he said that, and he said because of that, because of the way Harry treated the Queen, if his visa issue crops up and I'm president, I ain't going to help him, which is interesting.
It's interesting, and also they were so vocal about their disdain for him. I can't think of exactly where I heard it, but I remember at the time Megxit was happening, I believe I read somewhere that they refused to move to America initially because Donald Trump was president. So they moved to Canada, in comes the plague, and they sneak over to the States. But I think that they were pulling the Miley Cyrus, the Cyndi Lauper, that everybody was saying, if Donald Trump becomes president, I'm leaving. No one left. They all conveniently stayed in the United States of America. But I do think that he does, I have felt like he would not actually do anything negatively towards Prince Harry because I think he really values his relationship with King Charles. As we discussed recently, King Charles reached out to him personally after the assassination attempt. But if Prince Harry and Meghan Markle try to meddle in what could be a really nasty election, I almost feel like the gloves are off.
Yeah, really interesting point. I mean, the good thing about Donald is, he's a pragmatist. He's a businessman and a politician. Businessmen have to be pragmatic, so do politicians. So he'll go with the flow. My suspicion is what will happen if he gets in on November the 5th, and I think that's pretty likely, is he'll just let it ride. He won't say anything about Harry and Meghan. But as you say, this depends on how vocal they are between now and November the 5th. If they start coming out shouting and screaming about vote Kamala, then Donald will be having a close look at Harry's visa when he gets into power. So in that respect, I bet you that Meghan and particularly Harry remain fairly quiet in the months to come. But I don't think, to go back to our earlier conversation, that they will be able to resist, particularly Meghan. She won't be able to resist saying, hey, I support the nice guys, proving that I too am very nice. That's her all over, isn't it?
100%. And how stupid when you're about to launch a lifestyle brand and a brand new TV show and you need people, and they're trying to change their image, and you need people to like you, to buy your salad dressing and to buy your overpriced jam, which how many days since she launched American Riviera Orchard?
March was when she launched it. So
Yeah, and we
April,
have
May,
nothing
June. That's
tangible.
like 5 months ago. Sell something!
So it's like incubating a fetus.
It's like if I open a shop, right? I've opened a shop on the high street. We're open for business.
Coming soon.
What can I buy? Oh, nothing. No, you can't buy anything. 5 months later, can I buy anything yet? No, you still can't buy anything. I mean, it's weird. It is weird. I can only imagine that there isn't much interest in anything she has to sell, or she's having trouble doing deals with producers of products.
Vendors, yeah.
To flog. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but 5 months. I mean, I've heard of soft launches, but that's like a kind of lethal swamp of a launch. It's so soft.
Over here, I don't know if you do it over there, but over here in media, we call it the deep tease. The deep tease. Like you tease something way too soon, and then like 3 commercial breaks later, they forget what you're talking about. Speaking of the deep tease, though, Birmingham, do I pronounce it? Please fix this and edit.
Birmingham.
Birmingham? Yeah, because I want to call it Birmingham. I want to come full on Birmingham, Alabama.
Birmingham. It's not Birmingham. Birmingham.
Birmingham? All right, so Birmingham Invictus 2027, that was announced at midnight. This is Prince Harry choosing Birmingham over Washington, D.C. I can't even feign interest in this right now because it's so far away. But the debate is whether Meghan Markle will show up at this 2027 Invictus Games. I don't even know if they're still going to be married. So really, what are we doing here?
Yeah, well, I don't think she will, and I think this is very strange. All of this, I think it would have been a great move for the Invictus Games, to take place in Washington D.C. But for some reason, he's decided to come back to Britain, and she won't come. I mean, she won't come for 2 reasons. Because he will still be bleating on about the security risks to his family. He's still wasting, millions of dollars. It's over £1 million, and he's still spending the money on this fatuous, pointless lawsuit against Britain's Home Office, the Home Security Department, in American terms, because when he comes to Britain, or when his family come to Britain, or Meghan and him, they are no longer entitled to armed police protection. So cops with guns, they don't get. He's furious. I mean, this is an old story. He's been pursuing this now for a couple of years. He's furious because he says he should get armed police protection. It has been decided by the authorities here, by the police, by the special body that looks after the security of the royal family, and by our courts, that Harry and Meghan, since they're not frontline working royals, do not warrant armed police protection. But he will not let this drop, and he will still be moaning on about it, I guarantee you, in 2027, because he's suing the Home Office again, but he'll lose the case. There's no doubt about it. For some reason, he seems to want to take great mountains of his own money and set fire to it and just pour it down the illegal drain in Britain. He's not going to win that case. So in 2027, he'll still be banging the drums and say, oh, well, my wife and my kids can't come because it's not safe. It's not safe. So that story will still be trundling on. And you have to wonder why he's chosen Birmingham over Washington, D.C. Maybe because he wants to make this point again.
I think you're right. It's like he weaponizes this idea to hurt his family PR-wise, to say, my children aren't even safe in my father's country. And it's just kind of like, Harry, he would ensure that you were safe, but because you're so ridiculous and over the top about everything, people hesitate to help you and to do nice things for you. Because you're just, and then I accidentally said earlier today, because I was kind of caught off guard with the question, I was like, I don't think she's been there since the Queen's funeral, but that's not right. She's been there twice. She just refused to get off the plane on their way to, on their way to, where were they headed?
She was on the way to Germany, wasn't she? I do believe, to Dusseldorf.
Yeah, and they just
Invictus Games events, I think that she just got stuck on a plane that went via London. But will she ever step out of an airport here again? I say no. And, Harry will say, well, it's because of the safety aspects. From her point of view, it's not that. The reason that Meghan doesn't want to come to Britain is that she knows that everybody here hates her now. They really don't like her. A recent poll revealed that those who are even prepared to give her the time of day, even prepared to ever think about her in this country, 18%, 1/8. What is that? 82% couldn't give a damn about her anymore. She knows she's not liked. She doesn't like the Brits, and we don't like her. And she loves to be loved, so she ain't coming back here because she knows she'll get booed. She'll get booed by the crowds. So a mixture, a kind of toxic cocktail of Harry's insane obsession about the safety of his family, which, by the way, isn't really about the safety of his family. It's about his status. He wants the same status as the rest of the royal family. They get armed police protection. Why shouldn't he? Because you don't do any work. That's why.
Yeah.
You have to work.
You quit your job. You quit your job and you quit your family.
Yeah.
You quit your job and you quit your family.
Exactly right. So it's a toxic mixture of that and Meghan's surefire knowledge that everybody in Britain doesn't like her, and if she comes here, she'll get booed. Those two factors put together means we will never see Meghan in this country ever again, in my view.